So, who's introing?
Well, I thought you were. Don't know. Is that all the wine you poured?
For now. Actually, do you know what? Wait there. I'm just gonna go get my bottle.
Fucking hell.
There we go. Nice bottle of Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, guys, today David and I are going to speak about why Gen X are so sarcastic. And I actually have a diary that says fluent in sarcasm on the front. And that's why I bought it, because it says that on the front. Yeah, that kind of fits. That is definitely what we are. But there's a slight difference between David and I. David is Gen X. I'm not quite Gen X. I'm a Xellenial, which means I crossed the threshold of Gen X and Millennial because I was born in 1980. So David's a bit older than I am. But
Yeah.
actually, a lot of our experiences are very similar and then nuanced by how tech started to influence our lives as we left school. So,
Yeah.
but ultimately, it's the sarcasm thing we're going to concentrate on today. Is why are we
Yeah.
so sarcastic?
But technically, you will want to be because you're neither here nor there. But you want to be
Oh, here
Gen
we
X,
go.
but like,
Whatever.
talk to the hand. Yeah,
And the face ain't interested.
I don't know that it's I don't know that it's necessarily Gen X that are sarcastic as such. I think it's that thing because there's only a few countries that live on sarcasm, and that's effectively the Great Britain, Ireland, and Australia do sarcasm pretty good. You know,
I think there's
Europeans,
a generation in the States, and that's a Gen X, sort of Xellenial generation in the States that do sarcasm all right. And the reason I say that is the video that put me onto this idea was listened to by it was a reaction by a Gen Z kid to the veteran dad bod who is an American Gen Xer online on YouTube.
yeah,
And actually
but
I quite like this guy, he's quite funny.
the thing being is they can do, in my experience of it, is they can do sarcasm when they think about it. They don't understand sarcasm when they're sat in a bar in Britain.
No, it's a reflex. For us it's just a reflex. It's like second
Yeah,
it's like breathing air.
yeah, and context matters. I don't even understand how you can explain sarcasm to somebody that doesn't grow up with it because we don't. I mean, effectively, it started in the playgrounds with kids and teachers. It's and it is just a way of insulting somebody without insulting them.
It's
But
very British though.
everybody in the yeah, but the Irish do it well, and so do the Aussies.
Yeah.
And I know Americans talk about it, but my experience when they're in a room with you, it kind of they either take it as the insult or they don't get that they're being insulted.
That's myself. That's my
Yeah,
sarcastic laugh.
but and yeah, so that's where I sit with it. And I don't know how you really explain it to somebody, but we,
Well,
like you say, we
there's a
we
few
can
things
have a
in there.
conversation and 50% of it is sarcasm.
Yeah, 100%. I think we do it a lot. But but I think do you remember the whole saying? Sarcasm's the lowest form of wit, the highest of intelligence, and if wit was shit, you'd be full of it.
Yeah, but that's it is it's that, isn't it? And it's a simple thing. Is this is like somebody can ask you something, like what was you went somewhere, you were like, what was that like? Oh yeah, it's fucking wonderful. And unless you understand, that could be, yes, it was wonderful, and no, it was absolutely fucking awful.
Yeah, yeah. but that's the tone of voice and stuff, isn't it? So I remember I was well, my daughter was just in her teens, and we used to communicate through sarcasm. That was the thing. That was the best way to communicate with her at that time. She's now in her early 20s. But that was, the way we communicated well, and we had a really nice relationship based on sarcasm. At the same point, I was reading Brené Brown's book, Anatomy of the Heart, and there's a section in there dedicated to why sarcasm is toxic. And at that point, I put it down like, yeah, this woman doesn't and will never get sarcasm, because the only way I can relate to my daughter at the moment is through sarcasm. It's the only thing that works. And even now, we do a lot of sarcastic stuff, but none of it's cruel. It's not. It's not snipey. It's not. It's not out to harm. There's no harmful intent behind it. It's just a communication strategy. It's like, yeah, okay, that's happened then.
I think what people misunderstand about sarcasm, like you say, we're trying to explain it's not cruel. No, it's a form of language. It's an expression of language. And I remember one of my favorite sarcastic lines was, "You should come back when you have less time. Please visit again when you have less time." And I just love the subtlety of it.
Yeah, yeah. But that's it, isn't it? It is just, it's kind of, it's a way of shutting somebody up without saying shut up sometimes as well, without being
Yeah,
actually rude and obnoxious. And it's a
yeah,
perfect way for that person to get the hint. But it doesn't feel cruel to them either. It doesn't feel obnoxious. It just feels, okay,
yeah.
so I might
Because
be going a bit too far now. Okay, then we'll stop. We'll
no,
move on.
because one of my favorite things about this podcast is the sound of your voice.
Fuck you.
And but it's an expression. And we're just being expressive, and it's not meant to be. It is meant to be rude, but again, you can't explain it because rude isn't an explanation of what it is. It's just saying things without saying them. And again,
Like,
that's the problem with sarcasm, is people want to put it into a category, and they don't understand it's just how the British, the Irish, and the Aussies express themselves.
mm,
It's an expression. It's part of our language. It is the learning of the language, because the words have so many different meanings to us depending on context.
yeah. I mean, even things like the sun's out today, that's great. The Lola the Barber's out.
Yeah,
Because it's sarcastic, it's also quite factual.
yeah.
And it's not about poking fun or whatever else. It's about saying what's explicitly true whilst acknowledging, you
So,
know.
so I think that's what confuses people as well. I could be insulting you. I could be making a joke. I could be stating the obvious.
Mm,
I could be
you
doing
got
all
a face for
three.
radio, David.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, face for radio and a voice for print.
Yeah. And one of the best ones I used to like is she's got her body off Baywatch and her face off Crime Watch.
Yes. So my favorite one is probably, you could kill the mood at a funeral.
Yes, you say that to me a lot.
I
Yeah,
do.
I get
I
it.
say it to a lot of people. It's like, fucking hell, you could kill the mood at a funeral. And that's the thing, is it's when you say something is what can kind of determine if it's sarcasm. It's
There's
the
also
timing
the
of when you
question
say it.
is what makes us sarcastic? So the veteran dad bod on that video, he says what makes sarcastic is the fact that Gen X have been through so many administrations, so many ups and downs that they just go, it's just fucking life, just deal with it. It just is what it is now.
Yeah, but
But I think in British culture, it goes a lot deeper than that. Like the keep calm and carry on. That's actually a very sarcastic quote.
yeah,
And unless you're
well,
British,
because
you won't get it. It's like, yeah, let's go and have a cuppa because that'll put the worlds to right.
I remember. So this is what I was going to say, because in that dad bod guy, he refers to Gen X, but I remember people who were from the war who was really sarcastic. because I grew up around them. And I
Yes.
remember, look, this is a classic one. I had a teacher at school, and he would have 20 years on me at least, right? And I remember him saying to one of the kids at school he was fucking about, I think it was sex education or something. He said, if you're so fond of erections, go and get a job with a scaffolding company. And that was the teacher. So you grow up in that environment.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. So you just
even,
learn it. So it's
yeah.
learned behavior then.
No, I just think the problem is that people try to explain what it is without understanding it's just a part of the culture.